Oh, the land of the free and the home of the brave. I'm a proud American from my birth to the grave. 47's the top, took a bullet for all. Didn't flinch, didn't run, still the answer the call. And we say, be tight, be tight, be tight. Officer Tatum show. Be tight, be tight, be tight. Officer Tatum show. Oh, the land of the free and the home of the brave. I'm a proud American from my birth to the grave. 47's the top, took a bullet for all. Didn't flinch, didn't run, still the answer the call. And we say, be tight, be tight, be tight. Officer Tatum show. Be tight, be tight, be tight. Officer Tatum show.
If you don't believe that we are in a fight today, you're sleeping under a rock. If you get hit and you lay down and you cry and you fold up in the corner, definitely you will not win the fight. We show up to win. Our culture needs a lot of you young people in here to step up and stand out. There is nothing or no principality, power, division, devil can stop us when we're united. They can only get you when you're divided. When I see the American flag, I see us progressing to something that can be awesome and great. And if you don't plan on winning then, you might as well go on today.
Ladies and gentlemen, ladies, welcome back to another Austin Tatum show. I've been waiting all weekend. We almost came up here on Saturday to do a video about Simone Biles. Ooh, I got a pimple right there. We also almost did a video about the Simone Biles thing simply because it was outrageously out of control, and also these riots that have been going on. And I could not wait to come talk about it. I know y'all want to hear me give my 2 cents on it, and that 2 cents I do have. This is the most ridiculous thing that I have ever seen. Not just because these people are complete nut jobs. It's the reason why they're doing it while holding Mexican flags. Like if this was an unruly because the president was aiming to be a dictator and the president imposing taxes. I mean these sorry son of a guns don't even do this when they impose taxes on the people, which I would argue is a constitutional nightmare. But they're doing all of this, bludgeoning cops, tearing up property, throwing rocks, committing felony crimes, burning Waymos to the ground, burning police vehicles to the ground, blasting government buildings and facilities, attacking agents, felony stuff. Because we are enforcing federal law. That's what this is. We're enforcing federal law. That means that when you come into America, you need to come here legally. That's all. And we ask for nothing crazy. We ask you to come here legally like the rest of the people who came here legally. Is that too much to ask for? Let me say this, and then I'm going to get to Gavin Newsom's sorry self. It's very simple to me. There are so many visas that people can execute or use in order to work in America. You don't have to be doing illegal activity. You don't have to be illegally in this country. Look at them spitting on the American flag and all these Mexicans. Get the dogs like they did the black people in Montgomery. Get the dogs on them. Let it bite them in a couple times. Don't y'all, let me gotta go on a rant. Don't y'all find it interesting though a lot of these people are Mexicans? It's like if you are illegally in this country and you're doing that, holding the Mexican flag, that's terrorism. Yeah, that's terrorism, in my opinion. But anyway, let's go to Gavin Newsom so y'all can hear how ridiculous he sounds. And I hope that Trump didn't put him in jail. Roll the clip.
Has been here 10 years. The fear, the horror, the hell is this guy? Come after me, arrest me. Let's just get it over with. Tough guy. You know, I don't give a damn. But I care about my community. I care about this community. The hell are they doing? These guys need to grow up. They need to stop. And we need to push back. And I'm sorry to be so clear, but that kind of bloviating is exhausting. So, Tom, arrest me. Let's go.
The perception is there's a lot of...
He's putting his gay character on because it's Pride Month. So he got to be this gay dude that's emotionally unstable. Come on. Fuck me, Trump. Get it out of the way. Homan, take me to jail. Handcuff me, daddy. That's pretty much what he's saying. That's what his spirit is saying. Handcuff me, daddy. Shut up, little coward. And he's saying this, and he's coming up with this fake outrage over what? Because your city in LA is out of control. People are getting hurt, injured. They're blocking freeways, and you got it under control, huh? Y'all saw the clip I was playing while I was talking. Does that sound like you got it under control? And you mad because Donald Trump has Border Patrol agents, not Border Patrol agents, but maybe ICE agents doing their job in your state, and you're not protecting them. The police don't have the right or the responsibility to protect or help and assist in federal agencies doing what they're supposed to do. But they do have a right to protect them. They are supposed to be protecting these people. So when they go in and they trying to bludgeon people, local law enforcement is responsible for keeping the peace. And when local law enforcement are getting overrun and they can't do it, they have to send in the National Guard. How is that exacerbating the situation? Go back to dummy and let's let him finish.
Oh, it's the end of the clip, actually.
Roll it. That was the end of the clip? Let's go to Karen Bass. Because he's challenging Trump to arrest him. I hope Trump put his butt in jail. Look at this. Look at this. S. Carroll. Let me not say that, Brandon. Stop. Be nice. Roll the clip.
Now to Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass. Hi, Mayor. Thank you so much for joining us.
Hi.
Hi. So what are you and
on.
your police force? I know how busy you are preparing for the hours ahead. What are you expecting on that front?
Well, I just have to say that if you dial back time and go to Friday, if immigration raids had not happened here, we would not have the disorder that went on last night. I will tell you that it is peaceful now, but we do not know where and when the next raids will be. That is the concern, because people in the city have a rapid response network. If they see ICE, they go out and they protest. And so it's just a recipe for pandemonium.
These people need to go to jail. Like, how don't they get convicted federally? Why are you lying? They have a rapid response team. They go out and assault Border Patrol agents. They assault ICE agents who are doing their job. That's what's happening. It wasn't peaceful. If they had just not enforced the law here, everything would be fine. Well, ma'am, if you did your job, they wouldn't have to enforce the law in the way they're doing it. If y'all did y'all's job and abide by federal law, you wouldn't have this problem. So the goal is to say, if they had not come and got illegal alien criminals out of our country, we wouldn't have a problem. Do you hear yourself talking? Or is that S. Carroll just burning through your brain? Roll the clip.
That is completely unnecessary. Nothing was happening here. Los Angeles was peaceful before Friday. When we find out when and where the other raids are going to happen, that will determine how the police respond.
Mayor Bass, it's Wolf Blitzer here in the Situation Room as well. The state of California, as you well know, is expected to file a formal lawsuit over President Trump's deployment of the National Guard, perhaps as early as today. Your own police chief says the level of violence he's seeing in Los Angeles is, quote, disgusting. So why not welcome more boots on the ground?
Well, no, I think the issue here is state power and state sovereignty. And so we do not believe, and what the governor is doing is separate from what's happening in the city. But what was the reason that the president had to take the power from the governor and federalize the National Guard? The night before this action was taken, there was a protest that got a little unruly. Late at night, it was 100 people. 27 people were arrested. There wasn't a reason for this. That is the concern. And if there was, the way it happens traditionally is that requests are made on the local level of the governor to send National Guard troops. No request came from the city of Los Angeles.
Because no one, this is what they're doing. They want to let it get out of control and they want to blow it under the rug. No, it's not a big deal. No, it's just a couple people. Just 15 people that's just mad for no reason. I mean, they got a reason to be mad, and they're just using their constitutional rights. No, it's not. Does this look like 100 people? These are tens of thousands of people out here doing this all over the city. What are you saying? And they're not just protesting. First of all, they have no business walking on the freeway. People should just run them over, and they all should, and whatever's left of them should go to jail, because you can't just run on the freeway like this. But if they were just on the freeway walking and protesting, that'd be different. No, they're throwing Molotov cocktails. They're burning up cars. They're assaulting police officers. They're burning police vehicles, burning Waymos, vandalizing. Now we've seen overnight they've looted places. It's out of control. The National Guard is not going to make it get more out of control. The National Guard is there to protect the federal facilities that you guys are not protecting whatsoever. Roll the clip.
What has happened now is an entirely different situation.
You know, and speaking of now, there are also, about 500 active duty U.S. Marines over at Camp Pendleton.
I guess they cut that clip off. Let's go to the next dummy in the mainstream media that's saying these things or making excuses as to why this is happening. What's our next clip? Let's go to Maxine. Let's go to Maxine Waters. Let's go to James Brown. Roll the clip.
No, I want you to. Hello. Congresswoman Waters. I just came to use my congressional authority to check on David.
Ma'am, we're logging securely now to all visitors.
Excuse me, I need to get in.
Contact our public appeal.
I need to get in.
These people are so stupid.
I'm trying to get in to see David working, who they have arrested. He is the head of SEIU local union here. I don't know why he was targeted. I don't know what they're doing with him. I don't know whether they're going to deport him. I want to report back to my caucus about what's happening. And he's using deportation as a way to enhance his position with all of those right-wingers out there who do not want this country to be a country of people coming from other places. It's outrageous, it is horrible, and we've got to make sure that we do everything that we possibly can, because I think he's up to creating martial law. He even alluded to
we got the National Guard here.
What do you think about
What
do you think about the National Guard being here, Trump deploying them and not our own governor?
Let me speak to this real quick. These people are, I hope they don't go to hell for this. I really pray for their soul. Maxine Waters, know better than what she's doing. She's old and crooked. The National Guard is deployed where? Where do you think they are at right now? Protecting what? Federal buildings. They are getting overrun. These people are, y'all saw what they were doing to throwing bricks at these cars, trying to drive by. They're doing all this stuff. And they're not going to protect these federal agents in these buildings. And so the president of the United States have the right to have the National Guard protect federal buildings. The National Guard is not on the freeway. The National Guard is not doing the job of the police. They're standing here protecting a federal building. How is this escalating what's going on the freeway? How is this creating people looting and stealing and doing all that thuggery? They're nowhere to be found. in these areas that have escalated. The National Guard is deployed to support the federal agents in federal buildings. That's it. That's it. Unless they need to act out a federal, do some active federally, like you would see if, somebody's rights were getting violated and they had to protect the person and their constitutional rights, which is federal. Maybe they'll act in, but right now, all they're doing is protecting the facility here. And she know better. I want to get into the facility to see what they gonna do with that. Wait till he come out of there. If he in the car, he going to get deported. He just getting deported. Let me tell y'all this. They don't care about nobody else like this. When white people get done wrong, when the taxes are out of control, when Gavin Newsom is stealing money, or at least allegedly stealing money, and the government blowing your money on homelessness and it never gets better, or the tram to hell that never got finished, billions of dollars wasted, when they screwing y'all without consent, nobody protests like this. Y'all don't rally and riot when they raising taxes that's astronomical. Y'all don't do nothing. When the wildfires went off and burnt down LA and a lot of prominent places, and these people are negligent. Where was Maxine Waters at? Nowhere to be found. Where was the protest at? They don't give a F. But they'll come out in groves to protect illegal aliens who shouldn't be in this country. Do it the right way. Give me the big screen. For all you people out here, do it the right way. Come here the right way. That's all. What they are doing is there's visas H-1B, there's H-2, there's MP3 visas. They got all kind of visas. I can look at the list of them. For almost every status of work that an illegal alien or a person that come from another country can work in here. Temporary work, agricultural work, tech work, you name it. They have a visa to allow you to come in here temporarily to work. But what they're doing is they're coming here in groves seeking asylum. And our crappy government, and I want to say another word, but y'all know how I am. I'm trying to be safe. Our government allows them to get a court date that they never show up to, and then they just go off in the country and live their life for 30 years. That's not right. Then why do we have immigration laws anyway? Just if you can make it here, you here. But no, your auntie and them had to sit in a long line for years to finally hear back. But they just came in here, circumvented the process. Listen, I was in El Paso. My friend like to call it El Paso. For those of you who speak English like me, El Paso. I was in El Paso, and he was showing me that thousands of people come from Mexico with the work visa into El Paso to work, and they drive right back to Mexico every day. They had to get a visa. They had to wait in line. They had to pay the fines and do all this other stuff to have an opportunity, not fines, but fees, to have an opportunity to work in America. They doing it right. Why the rest of y'all can't do it right? And why we letting the rest of y'all get away with this? All right, come on back on the screen. Let this stew head finish. Roll the clip. Roll it.
Well, the thing about it is, I don't know why they're here with guns. Whom are they going to shoot, and for what? Are you going to shoot a kid running away just because they're afraid of them? Are you going to shoot a protester because you don't like what they're saying? Why the guns? Why these guns here? That's my question. I don't get why the guns have to be here. We're a sanctuary city. We know Trump doesn't like us. We know that he's going to try to use us as an example. He's going to try to goad us so that he has a martial law. He even alluded to civil war at one point in talking about this issue.
Civil war. He alluded to civil war. We're going to go to civil war with California. Half of you little blue-head devils out there don't even have a gun. You ain't no civil war. Quit being silly. Maxine Waters is living in a mansion somewhere, and she creep down there, slither down there every now and again to check on political issues to make her look good. These people are advocating for illegal aliens to be in our country. Y'all had a chance to fix your crap. You've been here for 30 years. I've been here for 30 years. Nobody told you not to fix your stuff. You've been here for 30 years. You circumvented the process. You owe people money and everything. I don't give a about you talking about paying taxes. You here illegally. You go and do what the other people did that came here illegally, and I shut up. They paying taxes. What? They paying taxes. They ain't got nothing to do with nothing. And are they all paying taxes? Okay, shut up. I know people right now that do it for cash only. Cash. We went to a carnival. Me, my daddy, we took, me, my daddy, my stepmama, and my son. We were driving and it was out there by Alliance in North Texas, Fort Worth area. And we right off the side of the freeway was a carnival. And I don't normally do carnivals that they pop up one day and they pop them down the next day, because that stuff go wrong. I need that stuff to be permanent. We go to the carnival, and I went on the ride with my son like an idiot, and I was dizzy the rest of the time I was at this carnival. But we're there, and the dudes working there don't even speak English. I was trying to ask him, because my son got on a ride, and I said, son, I can't ride no more. I'm dizzy from that ride I did an hour ago. So you can do it. He was the only kid on the ride. And I walked up to the man. I said, hey, what's the threshold? Does it have to be at least 5, or can one go by itself? He just he can't speak English. That's crazy. You can't, none of y'all can speak no English. You only need to tell me about the ride, right? You need to know 5. That's all you need to know. The threshold is 5. So when somebody say, what's the threshold? You're like, 5, 6, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. 5, si, senor. 5. Now, I don't want to be disrespectful. I don't want to start talking to them in Spanish. You know what? I don't want to be disrespectful, bro. But at the end of the day, you need to know 5. You need to know 5. Just like I know 5, you know 5. I point over there and be like, how many? 5. 5, senor. I should have said ice, baby. Oh, no. Oh, no, sir. I can speak English now. Nah, man. Get these people out of here. Get them out of here. Now, I know, hey, look. Everybody got problems. Everybody trying to feed their family. Everybody, it's 1 billion people in this world that's hungry and starving and all that. We can't help them. So we ain't finna mess up the little we got just to get an influx of people in here when we have laws. We let the most immigrants in our country out of any country in the world. Every year we'll let 1 million legal immigrants into our country. Well, let's fix the system then. If we need to get more illegal aliens in this country, turn them legal or have them legally get into the process quicker, let's have Congress do their job. But until then, bro, you got to go. Let's go to, what else are talking about? Was The View talking about this? Yeah. Let's go to the cackling hens on The View. Yes. Or I call them hamburger heifers. Look at that one. Look at that one, bro. What a wasted face. I always call her a wasted face because she kind of pretty. She little, so she kind of lose point because she 4 foot nothing. But she do got a cute little face, and it's a waste. Too bad that brain don't match that face. Roll the clip.
So counterproductive to the very cause that you're advocating for. Well, and it feeds into what he wanted to do. What he wants to do is he wants to create a scene. He wants to say, I was justified in sending in the National Guard because look at how violent these protesters are, which they were not until this was exacerbated. But I think he has a strategy here. He is losing support in every area. Inflation, the economy, tariffs, foreign policy. His ratings are dropping. Even on immigration, like rocks. But there's one category under 30%.
Let me stop this hamburger heifer. If he's losing support in every area, why would people support him doing this? Because this is a very drastic measure, right? From what they talking about, this is a bad look for him, right? He exacerbated the situation, right? Why would, if he got so little support, why would he do something to lose more support in California? Why would he do it? These people are so disingenuous. Donald Trump is not losing support. It's a few dummies that's like, yeah, Trump. It's like for the most people, we're like, look, man, it's the best we have. And I think the guy's acting in good faith, and I think he's trying to do the right thing. Yeah, he do some stuff here and there that I don't like, but overall, Donald Trump is doing his thing. You think Kamala Harris is going to do better? No, we've seen him in the Middle East. Like we're not like, we don't have tunnel vision. People who hate Trump and have Trump derangement, they have tunnel vision. They're like, Donald Trump did this wrong. That's the totality of his existence. Is one thing that he made a mistake on. One thing that he didn't fulfill at 100% of what he said. We see the big picture. We see the effort in shutting down the border. We see the effort in deporting all these people that should not be in our country, that are committing crimes, felonies, rape, you name it. They doing it all. We see him trying to do something right with getting us fair trade agreements across the world. We see him go to the Middle East and they offering them jets and doing all this other stuff for our country because he's over there making deals. We see it. Trillions of dollars of investment in the United States of America from all kinds of countries. We see all of it. And we also can look on the TV and say, Gavin Newsom, what are y'all doing? Boy, they acting crazy in California. The world is watching this. And then the president says he's going to employ the National Guard, and all of a sudden y'all blame everything on him. The National Guard hadn't even been deployed when all of this stuff got crazy. What are y'all talking about? They throwing bricks and stuff at federal agents driving down the street. They're bludgeoning local police officers. Have nothing to do with federal agents or the National Guard. They ramping it up on local cops. Oh, you're saying the fact that these left-wingers who don't even listen to Donald Trump somehow heard through the grapevine he doing the National Guard, and they amped it up. Shut up, man. Shut the front door. Roll the clip.
Current support right now, though, is that 66% of the American public actually thinks it is crime enough to be undocumented and therefore deported.
That it's criminal to be undocumented?
Yes, it is not. You know how the disagreement was in the beginning? We were told it was going to be violent criminals, and I think everyone at this table would agree. Yeah. Haul out violent criminals, fine. But a very important distinction was 60% of the American public, 2/3 of independents, 90% of Republicans, and just a little under half of Democrats think the crime is in being undocumented.
Even if it's a civil offense.
Yes.
Yeah,
so what I'm
true.
saying is a massive amount of this country actually agrees with not how he's doing it, but with what he's doing.
So there's misinformation
I think
out
the
there.
strategy here is he's leaning into a scene right now, creating a bigger thing, because it is the one thing that he remains.
Do y'all think, I want y'all to comment in the comment section, write a survey. Do y'all think he leaning into something, or the man just doing his job? He's doing what these people are so disingenuous, it's crazy to me. He's doing what the American people asked him to do. This broad just said 90% of Republicans, 2/3 of independents, and over half of Democrats say that they want people to be deported. So when they're deporting people, like most Americans want them to do, and you got people in California trying to kill the agents who are doing it, how is he wrong? The people want him to do this. It's crazy to me. It's like these women are like a toxic baby mama. It don't have to be a baby mama, because some of y'all don't have baby kids with these women, they toxic. It's like a toxic woman, an ex, who lived their whole life just gaslighting. You're like, bro, 2 + 2 is 4. That's not what you said last week. What do you mean? Why you want to argue with me? It's the same thing with these people. It's like the American people want them to be deported. The ICE agents are doing what they said they're going to do. Donald Trump got elected, and they're doing what he got elected to do. Y'all see that they're bludgeoning ICE agents and trying to kill people while they're doing their job. Oh, but Donald Trump is the problem now. Come on. You're trying to keep me away from my kids, and then when I go off on you, I'm the problem. That's crazy. Roll the clip.
Well, let's fix that right now, because it is not illegal to be undocumented. It is not a crime to be undocumented.
But what they're saying is the problem is that they are.
No, but I'm just saying we need to put that information out there. It is a civil infraction.
Yeah, and I don't think
criminal.
it's actually broadly a misunderstanding. I think that 60% of Americans believe it's a civil offense, and that if you come here and you're undocumented, that you should be deported.
But he's actually lost some points on the way he's handling immigration, not the border.
Absolutely.
And I think a lot of Americans voted for him on immigration, thinking he was going to deport gang members and criminals. And he is deporting our friends, our neighbors, mothers, fathers, people working hard to make America actually function. And this is not what I think a lot of people voted for.
All right, let's kind of debunk this thing real quick. I want you. I want to debunk this illegal thing. They're so dang fake and disingenuous. It's crazy to me. I'm finna debunk it real quick. Give me a second. I wanna get the errors codes on here, the statutory codes. Hold on, y'all. Wait 1 second. Okay. All right. Let's go through this real quick because these. I want to call them garden tools, but I'm not. These women are literally conflating the idea of unlawfully being in this country as not being a criminal offense. If every single person, right, was somehow an asylum-seeking person, they have a court date, therefore they don't have documentation. That's not illegal. If they miss their court date, that's not a criminal offense, right? Because they haven't been adjudicated. There hasn't been a decision on their asylum claim. However, that's if every single human being that was in this country did it like that, right? But there are other cases of illegals in this country that are criminal. Let me give you an example. Re-entry after being deported is a felony. Okay, using fraudulent documentation or identity theft to gain entry or employment is illegal. Smuggling or harboring undocumented individuals, illegal. Falsely claiming U.S. citizenship, illegal. There are plenty of people that are in this country undocumented that are doing these very things. How are they saying? They're trying to act like everybody's just here on a kumbaya. If you are illegally in this country and you do not have a work visa, how do you work on a job? You're not supposed to be hired if you're an illegal alien in this country. I cannot hire a person without a work permit if they're illegally in America or they're not a U.S. citizen. So then what are all these people doing that you claim are working? They're lying about their status. Okay. And let's go through the civil violation that they're referring to. Unlawful presence or overstaying a visa or entering without inspection is typically handled through civil immigration proceedings, not a criminal court. Penalties including deportation or being barred from re-entry for a period of time. Think about this for a minute. Although these garden tools are saying it's not a crime, it's not a crime, it's not a crime. But if you're in this country illegally, you are to be deported. When you violate that, you are to be deported. You don't have to commit a crime to be deported. Right here it says penalties include deportation. So although they're trying to say it's civil, it's not criminal. Well, not every situation is the same. There's a lot of the stuff that they're doing that are criminal. Because if you're a person that's illegal in this country and you are somehow harboring other illegals, which means that you are living with them and you're not turning them in and you're evading them getting captured, you know they're supposed to go to court, but you're making sure that they don't get caught. You're trying to make them hide through the scenes and driving cars like this and taking them and dodging all this stuff. You are harboring an illegal alien, even if you are illegal. If you somehow are an undocumented person in this country, overstay the visa, you get your illegal family in your house and you know they're illegal, and you keeping them somewhere to stay, getting them jobs, you're harboring an illegal alien. That's a felony charge. But they try to act like because just overstaying visas and things like that are not necessarily handled in criminal court, that somehow you can't even be deported. That's a lie. If you are in this country illegally, whether you overstayed a visa, whether you never had a visa, whether you lied about your entry, a penalty of that is deportation. So you had to go to jail. You had to be prosecuted for a crime, but you got to get up out of here. Okay. There's area statute that go along with some of this stuff. And I can go down the list of it. I don't want to bore you with it, but let's just give one. It says, and I looked this up on ChatGPT to give me a quick summary. It said, is it a crime to enter or remain illegally, strictly, border enforcement views? It says legal basis, 8 U.S. Code 1325, makes it a misdemeanor to enter the U.S. without inspection. First offense, misdemeanor. Repeat offense, felony. Fraud, false documents. Obviously, I talk about identity theft used to stay or work leads to criminal prosecution. The argument, this view asserts that crossing the border unlawfully or overstaying a visa is a deliberate violation of the U.S. sovereignty and should be met with criminal accountability. Many point out that illegal entry is codified as a crime and allowed unchecked violations undermine the rule of law. So let me say this. I'm looking at the statute right here. Maybe I was slightly incorrect. I think that based on what I'm reading, it is a crime. They are just diverting it to civil court. Because right here in 8 U.S. Code 1325, and this is what Tom Homan said. I don't know why I forgot he said this. It says that it makes it a misdemeanor to enter the U.S. without inspection. That means crossing the border illegally. That's a misdemeanor charge. The first offense is a misdemeanor, according to 8 U.S. Code 1326 or 25. And then to repeat that would be code subsection 26, 1326. Repeat offense is a felony. So technically, bring the dog face pony soldiers back on the screen. Technically, and I stand corrected because I think about a lot of stuff and sometimes I miss things. I stand corrected in my own statement. It is a crime, a misdemeanor crime, to illegally enter into the United States of America. They just decide to use it, or they just decide to go down the civil route. And that's probably because they can't do 20 million criminal proceedings. So, hey, next time you hear a dirty hamburger heifer, whether it's your family members or not, say, it's not a crime, it's not a crime, go to 8 U.S. Code 1325. It's a misdemeanor to enter the U.S. without inspection, i.e. crossing the border illegally. Okay, let's go. Let's let these Womacs finish. It's done. That was that we didn't get more of that.
Yeah, it's just in the clip.
Okay, let's go to some more people. Let's go to anybody else of the Democrat affiliation.
We got CNN.
We'll go put it on there. All right, let's go with CNN. Because I want y'all to see all this bull crap that they're pushing out here. Then I'm gonna bring our side in. Roll the clip.
Brad, what are you thinking?
Well, we got to this moment because California has a sanctuary policy. The state law forbids local law enforcement from cooperating with, or local government from cooperating with immigration enforcement. We have immigration laws that govern the entire land, and California is willfully ignoring them. California's left-wing politicians set this up. If California had long been cooperating and helping enforce immigration laws all along the way, this would not be.
It's not the whole state. You do know that some of this is jurisdictions. There are certain towns that do. Yeah, but there are certain towns that absolutely have cooperated with federal authorities.
Shouldn't they all?
You know, this is part of the issue that is always interesting here is when Republicans want to talk about states' rights. It's about states' rights when it is something that they're interested in, and not when it is something that perhaps Democrats and their states are interested in. And so I think.
But we've all agreed on what immigration laws are.
Well,
it's not, there's not a state. There's not a state.
We're going to talk about this more in the hour. I want to bring in Steve.
See, they want to cut the man off. I think y'all got what he said. This is a Democrat talking point. I want y'all to understand this. We could probably make a collage about it. Their talking point is, what about states' rights? Are y'all really making a states' rights claim? Because that sounds like what got Goldwater in trouble when he was running for president. And y'all claim he was a racist because he said that it should not be the federal government should not interfere in states' rights when it comes to civil rights claims. When it comes to whether or not white people and black people want to be next to each other on a bus. That's not the federal government's job. And y'all called him a racist. So now y'all want to push states' rights. When y'all mad that Roe v. Wade was overturned. Y'all think it's a crime for states to have the right to make that decision, not the federal government. But now y'all talking point. Y'all's talking point is that, states' rights. So you think that the state of California should have the right to violate federal law. Okay, then what other states have the right to violate federal law? Since you think California deserves to let illegal aliens do whatever they want to do, then if the state of Texas says that gay people can't do X, Y, Z, are you okay with that? Because there is state rights, by the way, right? Come on, say what you got to say. It is a federal law that we agreed to as a government entity, both House and Senate. And the presidency. I mean, the whole government functions like this, but the House and Senate passed a law, subsection what I just read, that says that it's illegal to do X, Y, Z. And you're saying that when it's expedient for you, the Democrat, that California can violate federal law in its own interest against what the American people have voted for. Come on, bro. That's crazy. Because then, therefore, if some of the civil rights laws that have been passed through Congress, you think that the state has a right to violate civil rights laws, which is federal laws. Okay, then y'all stupid, and y'all are hypocrites. Because keep that same states' rights energy when it comes to Roe v. Wade, when it comes to civil rights, when it comes to all this other stuff, when it comes to Barry Goldwater. They don't believe that stuff, man. It's a talking point. I put my life on it. You're going to hear every single person on TV say, well, Republicans talk about states' rights. What are you talking about? This is a law that's already on the books. This is not us negotiating and having to go to the Supreme Court to interpret a law. We already decided that this was a law according to the United States of American government that oversees federal jurisdiction. Okay. Let's go to some old knuckleheads. What's that one with Bush in it? Or is that Bush?
Oh, yeah, H.W. Bush.
What is that one about?
It was the 1992 LA riots when they did the same kind of thing.
Yeah, he sent the National Guard to...
Oh, okay, here you go. Here's another proof point for you guys, is that when all that's being said, and they think that Donald Trump is supposed to be such a boogeyman, and look at what Bush Sr. did. Roll the clip.
One is the urgent need to restore order. What followed Wednesday's jury verdict in the Rodney King case was a tragic series of events for the city of Los Angeles. Nearly 4,000
it's
fires,
way too low.
Staggering property damage, hundreds of injuries, and
let's just leave the clip out
because
I think the clip
over
was messed
30
up.
people. To restore order.
All right, so anyway, the point is that when the LA riots happened, Bush Sr. deployed the National Guard. So this is not something that Donald Trump has just pulled out of his underwear and just decided that he's going to just do this off a whim. This is there has been precedent set. When these cities get out of control and it gets worse and worse, you send in the National Guard. Let's go to another dissenting clip. Do we have some other dissenting clips? If we don't, let's go to the Republican side. Let's go to what Tom Homan said on Fox News with Lawrence. Roll it.
So, Tom, you've been leading these operations. And so instead of criticizing the people that are attacking our agents, you got Gavin Newsom, who has called for you to arrest him, and you got Maxine Waters, who is going after the National Guard. Watch this.
He's a tough guy. Why doesn't he do that? He knows where to find me. The hell is this guy? Come after me, arrest me. Let's just get it over with. Tough guy. You know?
Who
I don't
talks
give
like
a damn.
that?
But I care about my community, and I'm sorry to be so clear, but that kind of bloviating is exhausting. So, Tom, arrest me.
What are you going to do? You going to shoot some kid? He's afraid of you and run? You going to shoot an elected official? If you shoot me, you better shoot straight. I don't know why you're in my city. You did.
This stuff is
the
so
governor
comical.
was not contacted.
Tom, what's your response?
Well, first of all, it's just ridiculous. That reporter from SMBC, he's a joke. He's a dishonest reporter. What we discussed was, for those protesters that cross the line, I've said it many times, you can protest, you get your First Amendment rights. But when you cross that line, you put hands on an ICE officer, or you destroy property, or I say that you're impede law enforcement, or you're knowingly harboring, concealing illegal alien, that's a crime. And the Trump administration is not going to tolerate it. You cross that line, we're going to seek prosecution in the Department of Justice. Then the reporter asked me, well, could Governor Newsom or Mayor Bass be arrested? I said, well, no one's above the law. If they cross the line and commit a crime, absolutely they can. So there was no discussion about arresting Newsom. And so, what he's done, he's failed that state. He waited 2 days of that city burning and people getting hurt, officers being assaulted before he made any declaration of an unlawful assembly. He's late to the game. President Trump isn't late to the game. Men and women of ICE are not late to the game. And let's make this clear. I keep hearing this term ICE raids, ICE raids. What happened with how this riot started is that ICE was serving a series of criminal warrants at a business being investigated for money laundering, customs fraud, and serious violations on sending money to criminal cartels that in Colombia and Mexico that fund criminal cartel activities in the United States. It's a part of an overall conspiracy that ICE is investigating. So we're arresting bad people. We were enforcing laws and following up on a serious criminal investigation on cartel financing. So that's exactly what ICE did. And ICE took a lot of bad people off the street that day. We arrested a sexual predator, arrested gang members, arrested somebody that had an armed robbery conviction. So we made LA safer. The men and women at ICE, the men and women at the Border Patrol made LA safer that day. But you're not hearing any of this. All you hear is a rhetoric about ICE being racist, about ICE being Nazis and terrorists. And Governor Newsom feeds that. Just like Hakeem Jeffrey feeds it that he's going to unmask ICE agents. And the members of Congress who keep feeding this rhetoric, they're the ones that are causing this riot because they don't listen to the truth about what the men and women at ICE are doing. We're keeping our promise to American people to make these streets safe again. And that's exactly what we're going to do. And we're not going to stop doing it.
Like, I try not to be biased, man, but it's like, why are the Republicans always right? Like, we're on the right side of all of these things. Like, it's very simple. They went out. We know this to be true. They went out, executed warrants. People are getting arrested. And what do? They get tipped off. These activists, they get paid. They drive them places. They give them signs and they give them equipment and Molotov cocktail. They probably getting funded for all this stuff. They going and throwing bricks at these cars while they driving by. What does that have to do with Trump bringing out the National Guard? This had gotten far out of control well before Trump even said anything. But it's out of control because of what? Immigration policy. They can't come and do their job. And the funny thing is that does the American people not want to get these bad people off the streets? Unanimously, the American people do. But The View, Gavin Newsom, Karen Bass, all of them are pushing false information. That's why you see them continue to say it's not a crime to be illegally in this country. They try their best to leave out the truth and the facts pertaining to that. They cannot give an area. If they were to give a U.S. code to back up what they're trying to say, they would have to admit that it is a misdemeanor to come into this country without going through the port of entry. They would have to admit it. That's why when somebody asks you, and I'm trying to give y'all some rocks in your sling for your slingshot. When your family members say, oh, it's not a crime. It's not a crime, stupid. It's not even a crime. You say, where's that in the U.S. code? And I want you to write this down. I know I said it earlier, but some of y'all just joined. I want you to write this down, the U.S. code. We'll put it in the comment section. Can you put this U.S. code in the comment section? 8 U.S. code 1325 and 26. You can put 1325, but also 26 talks about repeat offenders. 8 U.S. code 1325. So 8 U.S. code 1325 makes it a misdemeanor to enter the U.S. without inspection, which means crossing the border illegally. When somebody say to you, it's not a crime, then you say, what statute or what U.S. code are you referring to? And they won't have one. And you say, well, read this U.S. code. And you tell me what it say to you. Then they're going to poo their pants and not want to be your friend no more. So just be ready for that. All right, let's continue on. Was that it with Tom Homan?
Yeah, that was it.
All right, who else do we have on our side?
We got Scott Jennings.
All right, let's go Scott Jennings, my favorite. That man need to get an award, Lifetime Achievement Award. I don't know how he deal with these. He need hazardous pay. How do he deal with nut jobs every single day and they're just all against him? Maybe they'll bring one conservative on, but they're all Looney Tunes. I wonder, could I do this job? I don't know, man. Like, I'd get so sick of these people, I'd probably cuss them out or something on one of these days. Roll the clip.
Well, I think they have good reason to go to war with California because they've done terrible things. The university system there, maybe worse than any other system in the country, terrorized Jewish kids, allowing for Jew exclusion zones on campus and refused to take responsibility for it. That's number one. They're violating the president's executive order and the administration's views on Title IX regarding boys playing girls' sports. And I'll give you a third one that's breaking tonight. The mayor of Los Angeles is saying she's not going to cooperate with the Department of Homeland Security and ICE as they try to round up illegal aliens. And so you have a state right now being run by a bunch of people who do not want to comply with clear federal law and clear federal mandates, and somebody needs to confront them. The president is doing it.
Do you really think that this is the best way, this blunt object that is both personal and political, is the way to force California's hand on this?
I do think the confrontation is necessary, but I'll take one part of your argument that I think is worth discussing, and that's the idea of states' rights. So you're saying that in the name of states' rights, we should allow the California university system to set up Jew exclusion zones because they believe it's okay as a state?
No, I granted
Then is the
you those
confrontation
problems.
not worth having on behalf of those students alone?
The confrontation is Donald Trump saying, adopt MAGA values or I'm going to punish you by taking
It's not
federal
MAGA
dollars
values
away.
to eradicate anti-Semitism.
No,
it's not MAGA values to
You're
protect
picking
girls.
issues. You're
It's
picking
not
issues.
MAGA values to deport illegal aliens. It's just American law and American values.
And
Donald Trump
I'm
doesn't
not
care about
disagreeing
anti-Semitism.
with your issues with California. I don't think this is the right way to do it. And I think 5 or 6 years ago, you wouldn't have either. Because you also believed in conservatism.
I don't know about
right.
I couldn't have imagined.
I don't know about
States'
5 or
rights.
6 years ago. I would.
Here they go again. That in the clip. States' rights. You would just go with states' rights. It's, I'm telling you, like they now care about states' rights. They now pushing that whole agenda. It's like they got an email that says, let's talk about states' rights now. Everybody say the same thing. And this was a clip before the riots have gotten as out of control as they have been recently. But at the end of the day, I mean, he's 100% right. Like, are you guys okay with them setting up anti-Jewish exclusion zones? Were you okay with them beating up people at Turning Point USA? When I went there, turn our tent up and doing all this other stuff, I had to give them some wings a couple times. I wish I'd have just knocked all of them out, to be honest. I was trying to be nice to Turning Point, but I wish I'd have just knocked them out one by one. They were the weakest little weenie non-binary fools, slapping women over the head and beating up these kids that are afraid. You see, ain't nobody hit me, right? Okay, that's what I thought. Because it would have been on like Donkey Kong. I put my life on it. If one of them tried to square up on me, I'd have been knocking them down. They'd have thought I was out there bowling, just knocking them down one by one. Bloop, 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 bloop. And I could have taken all of them. There ain't none of them that would compete. Even if I do 3 or 4 at a time. They were that weak and soft. The one that I pushed, just, I feel like I pushed a baby or something. I'm like, God dang, ain't nothing there. I just went, I thought it went through the person. I'm like, God dang, I ain't even feel that I pushed the person. And if it wasn't for the person back there, they probably would have flew. Little weenies. I swear, next time I ain't going to be as nice. You come on campus doing that, I'm just going to start dropping people. And I'm going to be within my rights to do so because I can protect myself. I don't have to let people spit in my face and throw pee and urine and stuff on me and punch me in the head with a bike lock. Come on. You do it if you want to. I'm going to get excited a little bit. It's like a dream of mine for you to challenge me like that. I can't wait to sweep these people. You know what I mean? But I won't do it if you don't hit me and put your hands on me. You could talk and cry and spit on each other about why you don't like me on campus, but don't you put your hands on me and don't you put your hands on other people because then I'm going to have to protect them. I'm just throwing it out there. I don't have to go back to campus. Y'all better act like you got some sense. I'm going to spank you like your parents should have. All right. This gentleman actually was a good positive message calling out these dumb illegals and Mexicans. I'm going to say some of y'all Mexicans tripping. Just like some of you black people tripping, just like white liberals tripping, some of you Mexicans tripping. Y'all need to get y'all head out of y'all butt. You come over here legally or don't come over here. And I don't know why black people is even accepting this, to be honest. I see the dumb Negro in the comment section with this stuff being like, yeah, Gavin Newsom, right, finally somebody. Y'all the dumbest people. They finna take over, y'all. Y'all finna lose all y'all rights. When I say rights, the ability for you to vote and have impact. Dumbest people in the world, boy. Some of y'all black people are the dumbest people in the world. Why do you say that, Mr. Tatum? You guys are actually advocating for a party that's trying to replace you. Do you not get it? They have no legislation that they put forward for black people specifically. They've done it for gays, and then they're doing it for illegals. Not just Mexican people, illegals. Black women voted 98% for Democrats, and Donald Trump won his greatest victory. That means that black women could have voted 100% for Democrats, and the Republicans still would have won in a landslide. That means your vote don't count. Dummies. All that abortion and all that crazy stuff y'all been buying into and letting the Democrat run your community down a creek, your vote don't count. And if it wasn't for black men who got common sense, we wouldn't have a country. And you just give it 2 or 3 more terms. No, it ain't be that long. Let them give amnesty to these illegal aliens that are coming our country. Majority of them are Mexican. Let them give them amnesty. Your vote will never count again. There's over 20 million plus illegal aliens that cannot vote in the federal elections right now because they're illegally in this country. Now, hopefully by the time this happens, it'll be 10 million. Hopefully we get 10 million out of here. But you know what's going to happen when they give them amnesty and they give them the right to vote? Many of them already voting locally. Your vote already don't count in California. But on the federal level, when you got 20 million plus excess new voters, the black vote is, you might as well be Asian. You vote, ain't nobody care. You know the politicians going to go after the Mexicans. That's why they're trying to give them everything they can. They're trying to give these Mexican people that come over here illegally, they're trying to give them health care. They're trying to give them housing. They're getting jobs. They letting them work under the table without paying taxes. Your black behind can't do that. Your black ashy elbows can't do that. You don't pay your tax, you're going to jail. You have to be a citizen in this country. You have to register to vote in this country. They get to do whatever they want to do. And y'all voting for it. 98%, you dumb black women voting 98% to replace you. Dumbest thing I ever seen in my life. And I gotta call it for what it is. If black women wouldn't vote 90-some% for Kamala Harris, I wouldn't even be making this statement. The dumbest people in the world has to be the black woman who voted for Kamala Harris. She ain't proposed nothing she gonna do for black women. What is she gonna do for black women? Nothing. Wrote this clip.
Hey, I want to give a big shout out to all you pendejos and tontas over there in LA putting your hands on federal agents, possibly catching a felony case. You know what that does? That's making America great again. You want to know why? Because that's going to limit your ability in regards to your Second Amendment. Oh, and you know what else? That's going to limit your ability to f up this country even more and vote for another Democrat. You want to know why? Because you got a felony. But you know who don't care about you doing the tontera you're doing over there in LA? With these ICE agents? The Democrat Party don't give a shit that you're doing that. They don't care if you catch a case. They don't care if you go to jail. They don't give a about you. When the are you pendejos gonna wake up? When are you gonna wake up? And furthermore, just to further let you guys know, put some salt on the wound. A lot of these immigrants that come here from Venezuela, El Salvador, they don't give a shit about you either. So what are you doing, babosos?
I freaking love this guy. Who is this guy? He got a TikTok handle right there. Somebody find him, man. I want to interview him. I freaking love what he said because it's that funny. It's that comical. It's crazy to me. Ain't it to y'all? Like, you know, it's like your auntie and them will come out and say something real stupid. You like, man, what planet are y'all living on? These Mexicans will rob you, rape you, and everything. Not all of them. I'm saying the ones that come over here illegally that will. They already proven. That's why they're getting deported. They raping people. They assaulting kids. And I'm going to tell you this. They're committing way more crimes than we actually know. And the reason why you don't catch them as often is because other people that they're violating are afraid to call the police because they're illegal. So if an illegal alien go and rob an illegal alien, what are they going to do? They ain't finna call the cops because they think they're going to get deported. So they don't report it. When Juan Soto come to your house and do something to a kid that's living in the household, who going to report him? Because then everybody going to go to jail. Then you're going to find out all y'all illegal. Everybody getting deported. These people are preying on vulnerable communities in America whom the Democrats only want to use you to get a vote. They don't care that you're getting taken advantage of. They don't care that y'all there's no way people treating you right on the job. If I had an illegal alien, and I would never do that because it's stupid, but if I had an illegal alien working for me, why do I have to treat them right? We're going to file for workman's comp. You can't file workman's comp. You're not even supposed to be here. We paying you cash under the table. You get hurt on the job, we're just going to replace you with Juan Soto Garcia. What are you talking about? These people are getting taken advantage of. And Democrats don't care. They should be focusing their energy and efforts to get a process that if a person have a legitimate asylum claim, we can take them down there, legitimize their asylum claim, they can be in America. Or if they want a temporary work visa, we find a way that if this person is actually working and not committing crimes, they can qualify for a work visa. Why can't we do that in 24 hours? They should be fighting for that instead of saying, no, everybody, none of what they're doing is legal. They all civil. It's all a civil case. They never did. Who you think gonna cut the grass? Well, some of the people with the H-1B visa or H visas or whatever the visas, because they got H-1, H-2, HB-1, and they got all kind of visas. Somebody with an agricultural visa, which is like an H-2 visa, they're the ones, not the legals, it's the ones that got the visa. Should be. Those people are paying taxes. But you talking about the ones that can't speak English, they paying taxes. How are they gonna pay taxes they can't even read? They can't read the English. They're going to go find a place that's English that say this is how you pay your taxes. Where are they going to find that place at? Y'all the stupidest people on planet Earth. All right, do we got another one? I think I beat that dead horse. Let's go to my other Hispanic brother here. And then we're going to go to Simone Biles. I've been wanting to talk about that all week. Roll the clip.
So let me get this straight. Just so I could clarify it. You don't want to go back to Mexico. You're protesting to stay away from Mexico. But you're waving the Mexican flag and you're waving it with pride. You're waving it in the United States, the country you're trying to stay in, the country you don't want to leave. But yet you're waving the Mexican flag with pride. Okay. That seems normal to you? That seems logical? That's not stupid at all? None of that's stupid. All right. You guys are an embarrassment to the Mexican culture and to the United States culture. You guys are an embarrassment to everybody around you, and you should be ashamed of yourself. Do better.
Why can't we we need our black, Hispanic, and white brothers and sisters to band together. Because there's those of us who got common sense. And it's refreshing, right? Just like when y'all hear me and you're like, oh my God, it's so refreshing to hear a black man got some common sense for once. Same thing when you hear a Hispanic person, it's like, this is stupid. We don't agree with the stupidity that they're doing. Because it just really makes no sense for you to be flying a Mexican flag, trying not to get sent to Mexico. That's like somebody, just imagine if American was in like Europe somewhere. Yeah, America. And they like, go back to your country. No, but America. Like you hate it over there. Yeah, but no, America, shut the front door. If you're so proud of being an American, go back and live in America and make America better. There's a lot of crops to pick in Mexico. Why don't you live in Mexico? There's a lot of people that live in Mexico. If all y'all that learn all these skills in America go back to Mexico, y'all can make Mexico great again. Oh, did I hear right? The cartel? Oh, sorry. The government's corrupt? Oh, okay. I was just wondering. You can't say it's not beautiful in Mexico. Can't say the weather is not great in Mexico. Can't say the resorts and the beachfront properties aren't beautiful in Mexico. People travel all over the world to go to Mexico. So you can't say Mexico don't have the potential. Y'all just want to come over here and our stuff. Y'all don't want to go over y'all stuff. Y'all want to come over here. Come on. That's like them dumb Negroes talking about they want to go to Africa. Go to Africa then. It's a lot of room over there. I don't know where you think what country you're going to go to, but go to the African continent and see what happens. See if you get scalped when you go over some of these places. See what your opportunities are. See what regulations are in place. You crying about America. Go to Africa and see what the regulations are. Go in a place that ain't got no running water. Go over there and make Africa great again. Which country you want to get? Botswana? I think Botswana is pretty good. But go to these other countries. Cameroon? Go anywhere. Kenya? South Africa? We can go down the list. I can name 40 countries. I don't know if it's 40 countries in Africa, but it's a lot of them. I can name them. Go there. Go there. And tell me how it fair. Tell me how they receive you. They ain't feeling you like that. They not cool with you like that, bro. Y'all ain't got the same culture. Just because you're skin folk, don't mean you can't. Just because you're kin folk don't mean you're skin folk. Or whatever. Skin folk don't mean you're kin folk. Them Africans over there have a different culture. Y'all over here, black people over here squandering opportunities. They over there wishing that they just had half of the stuff we have. And they would do 10 times what we do with it. But yeah, go on over there with your privilege. You're going to be coming back crying for the white man to receive you back in. I put my life on it. I will personally pay for at least one person to move out of this country. I'll pay for at least one. You want to move to Africa, first of all, you got to be a celebrity. I will pay for your flight, business class, 2 business class flights. You could take a companion with you. I will pay for you to leave as long as you promise you'll never come back. You got to rescind your citizenship. I will pay for you to leave. Matter of fact, I'll pay for a regular person. So somebody come to me, you got to rescind your citizenship. I'll pay 1 ticket for a regular person. You leave, go to Africa, rescind your citizenship in America. I will pay for you to go business class. You can sleep, you can lay down on that bed when you're over there. Because that'll be the last time you're going to lay on the bed. Next time you'll be laying on a blade of grass 6 feet under. All right, let's go to Simone Biles. And her, don't say it, Brandon. Simone Biles, put it on the screen. Put this hamburger heifer on the screen. The audacity of Simone Biles is insufferable. This woman, whom everybody stood behind her for the most part, when she punked out of the Olympics because she was her mental health, you swinging on monkey bars and you act like you going to war. You act like you strapping on the pads and you playing football. You doing balances and stuff. Now, I admit it is kind of hard, but that was kind of lame when she did it. But everybody was like, you know what? Simone, we support you. American, we support you. Then she complained about looking masculine, how she get treated. And all this is going to make sense in a minute when you hear what she said to Riley Gaines. And then you, sis, with that nut job that was abusing them gymnast girls, you knew he did it. You didn't have the courage to stand up and say something, and you let all those girls get taken advantage of. But yet you mad at Riley Gaines for having the courage to stand up for women. You should be ashamed of yourself. All right, let's see what she said. Let's see what this trailer trash said. Let's go before. Before, good thing guys don't compete against girls. He take all the gold medals. This is what she said in 2017. Good thing that guys don't compete against girls. Why, fool? Because you know guys will dominate you. All right, and this is after being woke and indoctrinated in indoctrination forms that's mainstream athletics. This is what she said to Riley Gaines. You're truly sick. All of this campaigning because you lost the race. She lost the race to a man whom you said glad that they don't play when you were doing it because they done took all your medals. Straight up sore losers, what she said. You should be uplifting the trans community and perhaps finding a way to make sports inclusive or create a new avenue where trans feel safe in sports. What the does that mean, Simone? What in the does that mean? How are you designated? Let me finish this. Maybe trans category in all sports, but instead you're bullying them. One thing for sure is no one in sports is safe with you around. How indeed can she say that? First of all, you're saying she's a sore loser, as if she competed and lost to a woman. Now, she did not lose to a woman. She lost to a boy that want to identify as a woman, which in your statement you said maybe they should have a separate category. Why? Because you know they have an unreasonable advantage over women. And you claim that nobody's safe around Riley. No, nobody was safe around you because you knew that man was abusing them girls and you didn't say nothing. You sat on your hands. You didn't do nothing. So technically, women weren't safe around you. Little girls were getting abused because you wouldn't say nothing. So you shut yourself up because Riley at least got the courage to say something. I don't know why people so ignorant. Don't make me go off on that. And I love Riley. I don't know her that well, but I love her. I think what she's doing is great. I don't know Simone either. But what I think you're doing is cowardice. Let's go to some other clip. We got another clip. This is Riley Gaines' response to her. And then I think we have another clip. Do we have a clip of that dude twirling? We don't have a clip. Let's go to Riley Gaines. Roll it.
Yesterday, Simone Biles, the Olympic gymnast, the best of the best, bar none. There is no one else even remotely in her league in women's gymnastics. I guess in an attempt to be inclusive and virtuous, decided to sell out all women and girls who have dreams to achieve and to succeed, and to specifically personally attack and body shame me. She tweeted this out of the blue, like this came out of nowhere, and she said, Riley, me, you're truly sick, all of this campaigning because you lost a race. First of all, if she's insinuating I lost to a man, I've lost several races in my career, duh, that's part of being an athlete. But if she's saying I lost to a man, that's factually incorrect. We tied. Besides the point. Straight up sore loser. You should be uplifting the trans community and perhaps finding a way to make sports inclusive or creating a new avenue where trans feel safe in sports. Let me get something straight. It's my job. It's the women's job. This is what Simone Biles is saying. It's the women's job to find a way for the men's feelings to be validated, for their identity to be affirmed. That's not my job, actually, at all. So to say I should be doing this is insane. If she wants to use her platform to uplift men and women's sports, then by all means. But it's certainly not my job, and I don't believe it's the job of any woman to do this. She goes on to say, but instead you bully them. One thing's for sure, no one in sports is safe with you around. I can't even make sense of that last part, actually. Then out of the blue, she tweeted this. Bully someone your own size, which would ironically be a male. Which is hilarious, really for two reasons. Number one, she's acknowledging there are differences, like physiological, biological differences between men and women in saying this. Secondly, I'm 5'5", which might seem like a giant to someone who's like 4'7", 4'8", but I'm pretty standard size for a woman. I guess like relatively muscular, right? Being an athlete, I would imagine Simone would understand that, but I weigh like 135 pounds, 5'5", of pretty much pure muscle. And again, if anyone would understand that, you would think it's Simone Biles, a woman who has historically been scrutinized for having a very muscular, masculine-looking body. She was scrutinized to the point she did this whole body positivity campaign. Then she has the nerve to say that I look like a man. And not to mention, this is a woman who has been incredibly brave in calling out and witnessing the horrific sexual abuse that she and hundreds of other female gymnasts faced at the hands of one sexual predator, that predator being Larry Nassar. In the same breath, believing that vulnerable women should be forced to strip down naked in front of men in locker rooms so long as it makes the man feel happy. If Larry Nassar came out as trans, would Simone think it's responsible or safe for him to be housed in a women's prison? To be very, very clear, I could care less what Simone Biles says about me. I'm a very secure person. I know I'm on the right side of history. I'm married, so if she wants to say I look like a man, I literally could care less. The most heartbreaking part about this, for me, is the platform that she has and the amount of young girls who look up to her. That she just, in a blink of an eye, sold out to appear to be virtuous. What we saw from Simone is the definition of pulling up the ladder behind you. Something people like Megan Rapinoe have also done. I have a feeling that if Simone's inclusive dream came true, she would have 0 Olympic medals and no one would even know who she is. So, if she wants to advocate for men and women's sports, by all means, it's America. You get to do that. I get to call you stupid for it, but you get to do that. Maybe in the 28 Olympics, she can compete and palm a horse in the rings. But I am going to keep standing up for women and girls, which is just about the least controversial take on the entire planet. If you can remove yourself from the opinions of the elite, of mainstream media, of Hollywood, of any elected representation, the position that I have taken is the same position that about 90% of Americans have taken, which is that men should not be in women's sports. Simone Biles having internalized misogyny and being a male apologist was certainly not on my 2025 bingo card.
Boom. Now, come on, go back to her. Who you think, I'm just saying, who you think prettier? Okay. Hey, you want to say that Riley Gaines looked like a man and she's 5'5". I seen Riley, she's tiny. You know, especially compared to somebody like me. I'm 6'2", 280 something. Knocked the whole crew out. Look at that. I still got some little cuts on there, man. There's some cuts on there. Let's see this one. This got cuts on it. Knocked the whole crew out. So I know she looks little to me, but she's very, fit and everything like that. And Simone looked like a little troll. So why you coming at another woman and objectively you don't look better than Riley Gaines? You're not even close. And Riley said something important about that nasty Nassar guy who abused so many young women. I didn't know he came out as trans. Now, the hypocrisy is if he's trans, would it be okay that he go in the locker room with girls and pull his wang out? Young girls who are, on a team and they got to go in the locker room, is it okay that he go and pull his wang out in the locker room? Can somebody, I know none of you guys believe, but who is supporting this stuff? Who thinks that it's okay? I'm telling you, there's part of me that want to do an experiment. But I also don't want to hurt people in the process of doing an experiment. But I kind of want to do an experiment. I want to identify as a girl, and I want to go in the locker room, pull my thing out, and be like, I'm a girl today. I either put a wig on and say this is what I feel today, and pull my stuff out in front of these girls. You know how ridiculous that'll be? So, but why do people get to do that every day of the week in some of these left-wing cities? As ridiculous as it sounds for me to go put a wig on and go look at naked women in the locker room, it's the exact same thing that these people are doing. Let me tell you why, though. Because if you are a trans person, meaning a man turning to women, because you rarely ever hear the trans women thing, right? Where trans men, where the women turn into men. You don't hear about them in sports. You don't hear about them anywhere. It's really these men who are taking over women's spaces by a lot. Show me a popular trans person that's a man, that's a girl turned into a man. Show me that have won an award, that's being celebrated. You'll never find one. But you'll find Dylan Mulvaney and some of these other dudes that turn into women, and they somehow the most popular trans people. You would only think that trans was one way. It's just men turning to women. Because the other way around, you don't even know these people exist. They have no platform. Nobody's talking about them. They don't exist, by and large. The ones that you talk about every single day, the ones that's getting out of TV time and ruining Bud Light and Anheuser-Busch, is the man turning to the woman. And if the man turned into the woman and he's still attracted to women, that's something ain't right with that. If y'all want to be weird, have your own locker room. That's why I don't let me say this and make it very clear. So somebody go on record of having it. I don't really care if a person is trans. I never did. I never do. I don't care. I think everybody's human, man. If a good person and you struggling with that stuff and that's your reality, I pray for you and I hope God can deliver you. But I don't care. You don't hurt my life, really. I don't know you trans. How many trans people have I run into in Phoenix? I mean, I don't know. Probably none. Or maybe 10. I don't know, because I don't give up. But it's only when you start killing kids and you start forcing people to have to do what you're doing is when you get a problem for me. I don't want to be involved in your trans stuff. Just do your life, man. I don't want you being in the locker room with my children and doing all that stuff. Just do your life, man. Why you trying to hurt other people? I think people should come out against trans people because they're hurting other people. You know your talent level when you transition, but yet you still transition and played against women. You knew you have there's no such thing as a person being trans that never did sports, transition, and all of a sudden they doing sports. This trans person was doing the sport when they were a boy this whole time. And then they knew how fast they could run because you know what your times are. You practicing every day. And when you go through the process of saying, I want to finally transition, you know that you're still better than most women. And you do it anyway. And you're standing on the podium with your fist in the air anyway. It's diabolical to me. But anyway, I've said enough. Give me the super chats and we're going to get up out of here. Thank all y'all for coming on and watching. I really appreciate it. All righty. Let's get to the super chats. It says, hold on. It's missing it's missing the top one. All right, right here. I saw where they ruined a mural that was painted for Kobe Bryant and his daughter. Kobe had nothing to do with this. 1,000%. These people don't care. I'm using this thing real quick so I can scan it. All right, it says no more federal money to California. I agree 100%. The 49 other states shouldn't be responsible. I'm sick of the turmoil. If Newsom did his job, President Trump wouldn't have to get involved. Can you say it again for the people in the back smoking crack? Chicana here, left California, can't back these dummies, 100%. I don't know how anybody live in California. I know the weather's good. That's why people live there, but the communism is too much for me. Let's get the word out. Chad Bianco for California governor. Let's see. Love you, brother. Latinos for Trump. Love you back. Asha Tatum, love your honest influence, your book, faith, and overall your honesty. You put it all out there. Hope to meet you someday. Jason, Mesa, Arizona. Oh, man, yeah. If I do an event here, man, you got to come check it out. Lives attack, loot from their own, from their own because of Trump and conservatives. Make it make sense. Go try it in a small town instead. Oh, that's my song, boy. Try that in a small town. Jason Aldean is like the country music singer of the century. I love that song, Fly Over States. There's some other songs that Jason does but them two are my favorite. You play Fly Over State, I can be at a funeral and I'm gonna get up singing. You play that, try that in a small town, I could be dead and I'm gonna come back to life to listen to that song and sing the chorus. All right, it is time to start talking about Hispanic fatigue. Or is that only reserved for black folks? Keep up the great work, Austin Tatum. Let me say this. Illegal fatigue is what I think. Hispanic fatigue, because most Hispanic people, I don't know a lot of Hispanic people. I didn't grow up in all the Hispanic neighborhood. But most of the Hispanic people that I deal with are decent folk. Now, I know they got some terrible Hispanic people, just like black people do, just like white people do. You go to the grimiest of grimiest, you're going to see Hispanic people saying the N-word and everything. I be seeing them saying the N-word. Y'all look just as silly as white people saying it. How you get to say it? And black people let Mexicans say it, but white people can't say it. Come on, bro, make it make sense. And I think Mexicans hate black people more than white people do. Anyway, bus all of them back to the border. Make Mexico deal with it. 1,000%, man. Make it and shoot. Let me not say that. There's a part of me want to say deport them all out there, and then if they try to come back, just shoot them right there on the border. Say, hey, you come back over, we're gonna shoot y'all. All right, all right, done. But I know you can't do that. That's not really what I would like to happen. Sometimes I think they deserve it, but it's not what I would like to happen. Come over here and act like you got some sense. We wouldn't even have this problem. Show up to your appointment that you're supposed to have for asylum claim, and we wouldn't have this problem. But y'all come over here knowing that you ain't never gonna show up. Anyway, Bill Clinton did it back in the 90s. You should have seen how fast they hid it in the pipe and ditched when that white van pulled in. Let's see. Scott, thanks so much for joining the Tatum squad. Let's see. Waiting on the Pride shirt. Should be here tomorrow. Love it, love it. Oh, speaking of Pride shirt, I think we got it over here somewhere. Where did we do with it? He put it up here. Hold on, y'all. 1 second. Let me get my Pride shirt real quick. Let's see. It is right here. Haven't seen the Pride shirt. Here you go, man. We made this just for y'all. My Pride flag. Not that old weirdo flag, but our Pride flag. That means the American flag. If you don't have pride in America, you're a dummy. And to be honest, this encapsulates everything that America is. Everything that America is. If you gay, straight, dumb, stupid, smart, it don't matter where you fall into the category. If you're an American, this is your flag. If you gay, this is your flag. Dummy, you're able to be gay in this country. Go be gay in Saudi Arabia. I don't know if they let people be gay. Go be gay in Gaza. Go over there and kiss your girlfriend in Gaza. And they'll cut your lips off and shove it in your. Let me go on. If you stupid, this is your flag. If you smart, if you're on the spectrum, it don't matter. If you are American, this is your flag. I don't know why people don't get that. We should have one flag, one pride. Trans people, this your flag, dummy. Not the little green, what is it? What color they? Pink and blue, and this your flag, dummy. Okay. But no, you want to make another flag because you hate America. Well then, forfeit your rights and let them bludgeon you. As Mexican American, I feel like the LA riots are worse than the one on January 6th. 1,000%, bro. It's getting worse. They're just going to get even worse. The corporations are the problem. They bring them in. That could be also true. Look, he says, I know what would happen if I went downtown and burned a Mexican flag, a BLM flag, Venezuelan flag, a Palestinian flag. Think that will go over well, right? They'll arrest you. If you burn one of their flag, they can burn our flag. Wouldn't burning other flags be freedom of speech too? But if I go out right now and burn a pride flag, I probably get a visit from somebody. You know what's funny is what I would do? No, I wouldn't do that because technically, in destruction of an American flag, you can't throw it away. You have to burn it. You know what would be interesting is if you burn an American flag and then you burn a pride flag. I wouldn't advocate burning an American flag. I don't ever want to see an American flag burn. I want to put a hole in the person who burned an American flag. But what I'm saying is, imagine if somebody did both, what are they going to do? Right? You burn both, what they going to do?
You're supposed to fold it and then burn it if it gets too old.
Yeah, you fold it and then burn it. But that is, you're supposed to burn it, which I had to research that a while back. I was like, oh, really? Oh, okay. But that's not what they doing. They burning in disrespect. They spitting on it and everything. I would love to whoop the out of all these people that doing that. Spitting on that flag. They should let us say, we got free reign. You burn an American flag, we can get on you fast. Does this apply to the CEOs? Because it should. Let's say Alien Enemies Act. The real dang. Hold on. How did that jump like that? Oh my God, I'm not gonna be able to read all these as fast. Hold on, I can't see. Where do we stop? Right here. I said the real dang problem is companies bringing them in for slave labor. True. Until we regulate these billionaire gangsters, they will continue to happen. Well, I don't know if it's billionaire gangsters. Mind you, not every person who owns a business is a billionaire. It is rare for you to own a business and be a billionaire. So there's a lot of farmers and a lot of small companies that are hiring these construction companies that are hiring people that are illegal, and they're not billionaires. So let's not get the whole billionaire thing misconstrued. Anybody who's hiring illegal aliens and bringing them in this country for cheap labor is wrong, and they should lose their business and go to jail. If you got an illegal alien in this country and they're illegal, because all the time people hit me up on LinkedIn, I got a visa, or can you get me a visa to come work for you? I ain't got time for it. I can save money by doing it. I ain't got time for that. I'm hiring Americans. Now, if I want a global company and I go do stuff in Mexico, I hire Mexicans in Mexico. I hire Europeans in Europe somewhere. But right now, I'm hiring Americans. I'm not going to pay for you to get a visa when I can get an American right here to do the job. And I don't care I had to pay them more. I don't care. Good luck to you. Maybe another company hire you. I'm not doing that here. You got to have a right to work for my company. And if somehow you got a work visa, you got a permit, and you're a great candidate and you can work, and then you can work. But I'm not finna go get you a work visa for you to come from Pakistan somewhere to come work for me. It's not happening. And anybody that do that and get these people over here and they treat them poorly, yeah. Hearing a pansy call someone else a tough guy is redundant. Or maybe it's ridiculous, is what you mean. If anyone shot Mad Max, she just leaked booze. That girl is off her rocker. Are you gonna shoot me? She know these people ain't finna just shoot. When has the National Guard just shot somebody dead in the street because they don't like them? Shut your stupid self up. Protesters flying the Mexican flag clearly ain't pledging allegiance to the flag, to the USA. In the event of U.S.-Mexico war, where does their loyalty lie? You're either with us or against us, period. 1,000%. 1,000%, bro. Get up out of this country. Like, I don't know, man. I might go to jail over somebody flying a Mexican flag. I might steal off on somebody flying a Mexican flag. No, I won't. I want to, but I won't because I want to go to heaven. All right, signs of violence. It continues until met with equal or greater force. Take the gloves off now, 100%. Bludgeon these people. I don't care. Bludgeon them. $5 for 5 knuckles. Give them Tate. Get them Tate. Love you, man. Fort Worth repping. I appreciate it. Funky Town, Fort Worth in the house. Let's see. I'm so glad God opened my eyes to the Democrat agenda. Losing lots of friends because I'm a 47 MAGA. Yeah, they ain't your friend anyway. Just so you know, Deborah, they ain't your friends anyway. You just losing. You just cutting the fat off that steak. I don't want to say cut fat off a steak. I like fat on the steak. You just trimming the fat, right? Well, you do have to cut fat off the ribeye because when you get that ribeye, you cut it. This is a bunch of cut fat. You kind of got to trim that off a little bit. You trimming all that excess off that dry aged steak. Trim that stuff off. You don't want all that stuff on there and trim that off. Make that a nice, good ribeye. These people ain't your real friends, man. Because I tell you what, one of my good friends was not a Trump supporter, or whatever. We still were friends. Now I think he's a Trump supporter now, but back then he wasn't. But he's still my dog. We just disagree. You still my dog. So if I stop being your friend because who you voted for, we ain't never friends in the first place. People ain't your friends. I just want equal representation, meaning New Scummy needs to be in court for the next 10 years for inciting an insurrection. 1,000%, right? Trump can do it. Why these people are inciting violence? They're literally saying and encouraging these people to protest. And then at the same mouth say, well, don't riot. Well, Donald Trump said, go let your voice be peacefully heard, but do not go violent. So if y'all say he should be culpable for saying that, then y'all saying the same thing he's saying. Got your signed book from Lynn, I think that's Missouri, Lynn Moe. Yeah, Missouri. Or maybe it's Lynn Moe. Maybe somebody named Lynn Moe. Oh, we love you. I appreciate it. Oh, maybe I got your book from Lynn, Missouri. I think that's what it is. Yeah, MO is Missouri. I know that part. But maybe it's a place called Lynn, Missouri. God bless you. Love you. You may not have heard about this. The lead singer of the Newsboys, a Christian band, was accused of sexual assault between 2004 and 2014. Also, Michael is black and had an open secret being gay, perfect for Pride Month. Who?
Oh, it's a Christian music band.
The guy named Michael is black? Is that from Newsom? Is that the
lead singer for that?
Is that the guy that's the lead singer from Newsboys?
Yeah.
Oh. That's crazy. I don't know how people live that. I don't know. I don't know how people do that. I can see if you freaky, but to assault people is crazy to me. This super chat, thank you for the super chat, but it was redacted. I don't know if it's something said in it. I don't understand that, bro. I don't understand, man. Why do you gotta assault people? There's plenty of willing participants in your freaky stuff. First of all, you shouldn't be doing none of it because you should be believing in God. But if you somehow struggling, why you gotta mess with people that don't consent? There's plenty of people out here that'll consent to your nasty stuff. Long as they're 18, why y'all messing with people that don't want to mess with you? That's the craziest thing ever. You know, I don't know, man. I don't know, bro. You shouldn't even be doing it in the first place, man. Should be focusing on your career and helping people and stuff instead of trying to get your rocks off to something stupid and assaulting people. I just, especially when it comes to kids, man, I just don't understand, man. You'll burn in hell if you assaulting little kids. And if you're taking advantage of women, and I'm not talking about this whole thing where women regret it. I don't know how that works. But I'm talking about you drugging women. Are you forcing women to do stuff? You getting them in compromising situations. You taking them somewhere they can't leave. You threatening them and you putting fear in them to have sex with you. I hope you burn in hell. There's no reason for a man to treat a woman like that. There's no reason for you to have that on somebody's consciousness for the rest of their life because you want to get freaky and nasty. There's plenty of people out there that'll play that game with you. You a dirtbag, loser, and if somehow I ever had the chance, I'll put you in front of a firing squad. People taking advantage of other people sexually, it annoys the heck out of me because you're an evil, despicable person. And when you go to kids, it's even worse. Anyway, there's no mercy for me for people like this. If you're a leader of a Christian band, if you can't get your stuff together, step down, bro. Take a step back. You represent Jesus Christ. And when you assaulting people, hey, it ain't my business, but I don't have nothing to do with you. If I had no English speaking students in my class, I had translate their work, and their scores affect my ratings, even if they are illegal. So I think you're saying is that if you had no English students in your class, you had to translate their work anyway, which you had to do more work, and then their scores affected your ratings, which means that you had to go up and beyond to translate non-English illegal speaking students. And if you didn't translate it properly and give them a good grade, even though they probably didn't deserve one, they'll mess your ratings up. It's crazy to me. It's crazy to me. Let's see. Michelle Young said, Officer Tatum, give membership. Thank you so much for giving. Thank you for being a part of Tatum Squad. Did not see you at the peaceful protest last night. So what you think, Justin? Every black person look alike? Huh? Is that what you're saying? Women that chase the bear and then support men in women's sport. Women that chose the bear. Okay, I see what you're saying. Women, whether have a man or a bear in the forest, they pick the bear. Women that chose the bear and then support men in women's sports should. What sports should is banana. Maybe. Yeah. Pick a line and stay in it. 100%. Yeah, men are so bad that you rather a bear be in the forest with you, but you want men to play in women's sports. I agree. I don't know. I've never seen Ben Shapiro or Brett Cooper in the same room. So some people think Ben Shapiro is Brett Cooper. That's funny. Brandon, well, I know that's not true. I know it's a joke because I've seen them both in separate rooms. All right, Brandon, it just shows you that not only in sports and fitness are men better than women, but now men are better than women in being women too. I don't know why women like advocate for this stuff, bro. Because I feel like what happens is women typically are only as good as they're born to be, but these men transform their whole body to look like women. They get fake breasts. They get butts. They take hormones. They get facial surgery. And I ain't gonna lie, sometimes some of these trans people look better than women. And women are okay with that. And I'll say this. Men are ultimately the problem with everything in society, I will say. We ultimately bear the responsibility. Let me say that. Second, women are ushering in this stupidity. Who do you think are friends with trans people? Women. Straight men are not friends with trans people. Not trans women or trans men. Straight men don't have nothing to do with that. Gay men. Who you think friends with gay men? Women. Straight men are not that friendly with gay men. All this gay stuff is ushered in with women. They're exacerbating this stuff. I'm just saying, man, it's just going too far. That's why you see it in the school system the way you see it. Love your tattoos that says Jesus is Lord. You're an amazing example. I thank you. I appreciate it. Oh, dang it. Where we at? Let's see. Cara, I think it's how you say now. Carrie. I'm sorry. Carrie. Thanks so much for the super chat. Michael, put all them on the left in jail. But it's headed that way because they all stupid. As an Army MP veteran and a retired corrections officer, Officer Tatum, keep up the great work. Brother, 100% behind you. I appreciate it. Thank you for your service. Cassandra, let's see. Put all people that are on the left in jail. I'm not against that, man. I don't think they should go to jail, obviously, because they got to commit a crime to go to jail. But I wish they would get out of our country, right? I wish they would just go live in California somewhere and leave us alone. Because I put my life on it. If we gave the left everything they wanted and they could have a utopian experience, it will fall apart in 30 days or less, and they'll be begging to be back in a conservative environment. I tell them to go back to Univision. Let's see. I hope nobody gets hurt or worse because of this nonsense in L.A. It won't be good. God bless Tatum. Me too. It's terrible. Let's see. Tracy, thank you for being a member for 3 months. Maxine Waters was trying to word salad, but the lettuce wasn't lettucing. She was so stupid what she was saying. Are you going to shoot somebody? Like, shut your old self up. I'm surprised she's still alive. Skip the National Guard, calling airstrikes. Hey, I wouldn't be opposed to that in reality. Let's see. Yes, that is what I'm saying. Let's see. Could it be that both Republicans and Democrats are playing us to further push massive surveillance and through the Patriot Act? Politicians have divided us as a country. Anyway, God bless America. Well, I will say I don't think that's the case, man. I just think two different people have different ideologies. The Democrats want power and control, and I feel like Republicans are fighting for our constitutional republic, and that's why the divide is happening, to be quite honest. Mainstream media want to get you upset so they can sell advertisement on their platforms. That's what they doing. So they don't have a dog in the fight other than trying to make money. Love you guys. See you on the next one. I'm out of here.
Oh, the land of the free.